Hola familia, Carlos Vides y espero que esté pasando un feliz día y ya ahora sí ya entramos a las fiestas navideñas y espero que todos estén listos para celebrar, para las posadas y todo lo que está pasando en la comunidad. Esta semana les traigo un invitado muy especial. Él es un líder en la comunidad, es una persona que siempre ha estado trabajando con nosotros, la comunidad hispana, desde la Cámara de Comercio, con comerciantes y en todas partes. Es una persona que tiene mucho amor por la comunidad, pero muchos de nosotros no lo conocemos. Entonces puede que usted nunca lo ha visto, pero alguien que siempre está atrás de las cámaras. Pero esta vez no vamos a poner al frente de las cámaras. Entonces vamos a conocer a un gran amigo, nuestro amigo Al Balloqui. Señor Balloqui, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you, Carlos. Thank you for that introduction.
Thank you for being here today with us.
You bet.
And I know that you're always so proactive with the community, and that's one of the things I just said to them, that you're always behind the camera doing all this work with the community. And very important that you let us know a little bit about who is Mr. Al.
Who is Mr. Al? I am just another regular guy on the street.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Well. I thank you for the compliment, and I think of myself in a very humble way, because that's how I best relate to the people that I work with every day, in and out, all the time.
But you always are with our community, Latino community. Are you Hispanic made and descending, or how that works?
Well, my mother was born in Puerto Rico, and my father was born in New York. His ancestors came from Italy. My mother came from Puerto Rico, and I grew up in New York City in the early '60s. As an Puerto Rican New Yorker. I mean, that's a country in itself.
So that's how you identify yourself, Puerto Rican New Yorker, even when you have Italian.
Yeah, it's a mix of both. You have that blend there. It was a much different time when I was growing up in the 50s, late 50s, early 60s than it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, the communities blended together. The similarities, people think Italian's Italian, Spanish, Spanish, but they're both derived from the Latin.
Yeah.
And the passion and the food and the love for life is the same.
Food and a lot of the cultures and the religion, most of us Catholics.
Yes.
I'm sure you grew up Catholic as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My grandmother's wish was for me to be a priest.
There we go.
And every day was Sunday. Every day I went to church.
And that did not happen.
Oh, no, it didn't help me at all. It didn't help me at all. No.
But now you're in Kansas City.
I'm in Kansas, yes.
Yeah. How did you end up in Kansas?
Well, when I had just finished high school, and I just was getting ready to turn 19 years old, and 18 years old actually, and I got my notice, the draft notice. Back then, they went to a lottery, and my numbers was in this double digits. And my father was a police officer in New York, and he said, "Son, it looks like you're going." And I said, "I think so, Papa." And he said, "Well, look, son, you could swim further than you could fly, and you could walk further than you could swim. So why don't we go down and see an Army recruiter?" And 6 weeks later, I packed a bag and I was off to the Army.
To the Army.
Yes.
Were you excited? Was that something exciting at the time, or that was something that you felt that was an opportunity for you to learn something different or be part of it?
It was an odd time if you think about in the late '70s, early '71. The country was in turmoil with Vietnam.
Yes.
People were divided, but a lot of our friends in the community that I knew and I grew up with had gone to serve and were proud. People didn't have the same patriotism today as they had then.
Yes.
But when you knew people that went and served and went over there and went back, and with my father as a first responder, as we would call him today, I had that honor or that desire to serve. So I looked forward to going into another adventure of my life, because that's what exactly happened.
But also, was that maybe where you learn all this leadership that you have now?
Carlos, I would say so, yes. The Army changed me. I was, like I said, grew up in New York, 19 years old, didn't even know how to drive a car, didn't know anything, and I was fortunate to be drafted to go into the military. And I had I was a young man with a sergeant, a mature E8 sergeant that took me under his wing and taught me leadership, taught me discipline, and taught me purpose. In the military, I believe, helped shape the person that I am today. And I always will be grateful for that.
And the reason why I ask you much more to expand on that is because, our Latino community, Kansas City, Kansas, and this program goes all over because it's digital. And people get to listen to about what it really the military means to the Hispanic community. I personally see it as an opportunity to go in and learn something. Mm-hmm. Is that how you view it as well?
Absolutely. The military gave me a lot of opportunities. Drafting, I would have had 2 years. I landed up in enlisting, did 3, and actually extended additional 6 months because I got a special assignment that I went on. It formulated me. It gave me the opportunity to go on to college, to help to pay for that college. And it gave me that discipline to where I would be. More important, it helped me become diverse. It helped me to learn people from the rural community. I learned how to hunt. I learned how to fish. I learned different cultures, different states, and it expanded who I was at the same time. And I learned that within the rules of discipline, that I would be promoted and I would be recognized. And that was just so important to me at that time in my life.
Exactly, and that gave you a drive.
And I landed up in getting out at Fort Riley, Kansas, the Big Red One. I was very proud, didn't land up going to Vietnam, but did go to Germany twice. Got out at Fort Riley, Kansas, and then registered to go to school. While I was still in the military, I was going to K-State at night, 2 classes. I got out of guard duty a couple of times by having college classes, which was good. And then I just assimilated right into the community in Manhattan, Kansas. And that was back in, like I said, the mid-'70s. And life never turned out. And I spent 20 years in Manhattan, Kansas before coming to Kansas City.
And that's a small community. Now, then maybe it was even smaller.
Yes. It was a wonderful community, and it was very successful. Once again, as I got out of the military, I went to the Carpenters Union. I became a union carpenter. I went through an apprenticeship program, but I always wanted to sell real estate.
One of those programs is something that I absolutely I embrace. I like the idea of existing, and they should exist more. I think there's a lot less than that in today's society or environment. A lot of the programs kind of disappear. I wish there were more in the community so our young Latinos that don't feel like going to college, they can go there instead.
Well, Carlos, you picked a sore point with me, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I don't think college is for everybody.
Exactly.
And I don't. I think we're doing an injustice to so many of the young people today to make them think. The opportunity to get into an apprenticeship and to learn and to be mentored by someone, whether it be a union or the ABC, the American Business Contractors, or something like that, to learn a trade where you could provide for your family and you could provide for yourself, is really the first opportunity. The real opportunity is to go out there and learn a skill, a trade. And I think that's going to come back, Carlos.
Well, let's hope so, because I think that can make a big difference, not only for Latinos, but for every young person out there that is not college material, but it still has the smarts to learn something different that can support them for the rest of their life. And we don't have that availability right now.
You mentioned Latino. It makes me go back to think to the military. Most people don't know I'm infatuated with my history and the culture as a Hispanic. And the Hispanic soldiers were some of the most decorated in the United States Army, and few people know that. Most Hispanics do a fabulous job, but they keep quiet and they work steady and they keep going at that opportunity. And the skills, without them, I don't know how the construction trades would exist.
You're saying that, but also look at yourself. You've been doing all this work in the community. Nobody really knows who Mr. Al Balloqui is.
No, I'm going to be 69 years old, Carlos. So I've had many different chapters and adventures in my life, and probably to go to the most recent one, other than becoming a carpenter and working heavy construction, then going into real estate, which I've been a broker for over 40 years, learning development and everything. The military gave me to become self-taught.
Yeah.
When we finish high school, you finish college, they say it's commencement, meaning the beginning Not the end.
No.
Your studies begin when you graduate.
A different step.
They don't conclude. And I constantly wanted to feed myself in reading and listening to people so I could develop myself to be what I want to be and successful that way.
Well, let me tell you how I met you. I met you at the Hispanic Chamber, and you have a business staffing agency.
Yes.
How's that going?
Well, it's going great.
Okay.
I wouldn't have told you that 18 months ago when the virus first hit.
Yeah.
It
wasn't scary.
Yes, it was. I got in the staffing business 25 years ago. Started with a company that had only about 50 offices, grew to 1,000 offices. Actually, Carlos, I was at the right place at the right time, and that was in Las Vegas, in the construction industry. And that industry exploded, and I was very fortunate to be at that right place at the right time to be successful. Now I have my own company here in Kansas City. And with that, I've learned, and this is why I could relate to the people, because we work with the people every day in and out. What we do is we change people's lives. How we do it is we put them back to work. And that's so important because work is so important to an individual.
Yeah.
You know, discipline.
And with times right now, people seems to be confused. Should I go back to work? Do I work from home? What is the proper way to go about things? And so at your agency, I'm sure that you guys do a lot of that work.
Well, when I first came, I acquired the agency here in Kansas City 10 years ago. I mean, January will be 10 years. We acquired the agency here, and we started to, the name of the agency is Labor Max Staffing. And like I said, what we do is we change people's lives by putting them back to work. And we did day labor. You'd come work for me that day, and I paid you that day. And my goal was to never see you again, was to get you a permanent job and have you go on. And some people say, "Al, why do you want me to get a permanent job?" I said, "Don't worry, there's plenty of people behind you.
Yeah.
Let me get you taken care of. And you know what? Once I take care of you, then you come back and help me take care of somebody else." And that's worked so much. It's very unusual on a weekend when I'm in the store, a Price Chopper or a Hy-Vee or something, that I don't run into one of my former workers. And they say, "Hey, Al, how you doing?
Put me here."
Yeah, how you doing? Everything else and all that. And right now, we were in the hospitality when the virus hit. We started in the construction trades because it was what I was familiar with. We went into hospitality because I could really focus and be successful in that, meaning the cooks, the preps, the bartenders, the wait staff, the housekeepers for the Chiefs, for the Royals, Sporting KC, the convention center. COVID hit, we lost 85% of our business.
That's tough.
Yes. You know, so then you just get up and start again. We diversified. We went back into the construction industry, went into logistics and food. And now we're back on the horse. We do the Kansas City School District. We provide the kitchen aids for them. And we've been very successful at doing that. But you get to know the people.
Yeah.
Day in and day out.
And their families.
And their families.
And hear these stories.
And you hear their stories.
I'm sure that you have heard a lot of good stories.
Yes. And Carlos, you asked me why I do so much in the community.
Yes.
Which, you know.
Yes.
The reason I do, Carlos, is when I first came here, I had to be very prudent. I was scared, Carlos. I'd been in the industry for 15 years, but starting a new business, relocating from Nevada to Kansas City, how do I know I'm going to make it? There are no guarantees. So I didn't pay myself for the first year. I ran scared. I would save it and save it and save it and save it and waited. You know what I mean? And then we became successful. And I looked for somewhere I could join a chamber and be affiliated. And I found the Hispanic Chamber. And the Hispanic Chamber was so helpful and so beneficial to my company that now it's my time to give back.
Very proud to hear that, because I've been a member of the Hispanic Chamber for about 22 years. And they always have helped me. Always. And I tell the community up there, because sometimes they say to me, "Well, what's the point of being a member of the chamber?" And I said, "Well, it's what you want."
That's right.
You know, if you just want to put your name up there and pay your membership, okay, that's your thing.
No.
But what do you want out of it?
Yes. You got to be involved.
You went in with the point, because since the day I remember that I met you guys for the first time, you were up there mingling and shaking hands and talking about what you did and how you can employ people. I remember that, and I think that those are the things that we, as the small business owners, got to pay attention to. Because if you want to be a member of an organization like the Hispanic Chamber, like Mr. Al here is, you have to decide what you want out of it before you even join. That makes sense?
Absolutely, Carlos. The audience, let me tell you, whether it's the Hispanic Chamber, which is my preference above all, to join them, it's necessary to be involved with them.
Yes.
It's necessary to partake with them and to meet other small business people, and collectively together we could do more. If you just join, like you just said, and you pay the fee and that's it, and you never go around, or you this, that, go once a year, that's not the involvement.
That is not.
You have to be involved, and you got to start helping each other, and people will come to help you. How could someone be your friend who you never see or know?
Correct.
You have to be involved.
You still have to build a brand.
That's correct.
Like you have done it.
And I work at it every day. Yeah. And now I'm grateful enough that we've become successful enough that now we could start to give back to the community.
Let's talk about giving back to the community. Well, from giving back material things, but to giving back knowledge, because I remember at one time you were teaching a class with a jar of pickles or something.
Yes. Yes.
What was that about?
Well, when I got involved in the chamber, I asked the chamber, what is it that their membership needs? So we did a survey, and they came out and they said, we want to know how to do more selling or more effective communication. Right. Selling is effective communication. Selling, Carlos, as you know more than anyone else, is the most misunderstood thing. Yeah. Selling is effective. You got to sell every day. You got to sell your wife to go on your first date. Yeah. You got to sell your children to do good in school. You got to sell your employees
everything
to come
you
to
do
work.
Is sales.
It's all about communications. Yes. Yeah. So I did a couple of classes on that, which I've had done in the past, on effective communications, which basically is the art of selling. Yes. Persuading someone to do what you want them to do because they want to do it. And that's where it is. And the pickles was one of the campaigns I did, is I said, if you're ever in a pickle, give me a call. If you're ever short of workers, we're here to help you out.
It just started in my head.
No, it's you have to have fun. Yeah. Look, Carlos, I'm proudly can say I work 60 hours a week, and I'm having fun. And when it's not fun, I'm not going to do it no more. But I do it because I have fun. I don't work anymore. I enjoy my life.
Love it.
Now
let's talk about this new program, this project that you have going on for this time of the year. Very specific.
Yes.
For this time of the year. What is exactly you doing with these trees, Christmas trees? Well, what was the interest? What put you up to this?
Well, Carlos, it's something I've done in the past with other organizations before coming to Kansas City, and I've perfected it a little bit. And one of the things is that how do we give back to the community and give to ourselves at the same time? How do you have a win-win? So much in life, people think it's a win-loss. Someone has to lose for someone to win. That's not so. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So what I did, I proposed, and Carlos, this is 5 years in the making. 5 years before I persuaded the other directors in the chambers to let me become Unchained.
So you've been talking about this program that we're doing right now.
This program, every year, standing in line. Every year, no, not this year, Al. No, not this year, Al. No, not this year. No, I know it was right. I know it's right. So it's called the Festival of Trees. And what the Festival of Trees is that we go out and reach companies and encourage them to go ahead and put together a Christmas tree. That's something we all know. We've all done. Yeah. Decorate a Christmas tree. But go to your employees and have them decorate the tree. Bring that to the Chamber of Commerce's Christmas party, and then we're going to judge the trees. So now those employees, that company, small registration, $150, is nothing. They come to the event, and then some of the trees will get awarded. Some of those customers, those companies, employees will get recognized for doing a good job at the tree. The first win. You know what I mean? Napoleon Bonaparte said, I've discovered the most amazing thing. Men will die for ribbons. And what that means, we all want to be recognized.
We love that. It's absolutely true.
We all want to be appreciated for doing something that's right. So the Festival of Trees is first giving companies the opportunity to do something good. Yeah. They bring it to the festival. Then we have a gentleman that's very close to me is going to come and auction the trees off. We'll all come, we'll eat, we'll drink. We're Hispanic, that's the way we do.
It has to happen.
We have to eat and we drink, and we'll eat and drink, and we'll
do a little dance too.
And then yes, and then we'll have that auction. We'll auction the trees. Now, the idea between that is that the money that we'll raise from that is going to go to two other good causes. Perfect. The young Latino professionals and Latinos of tomorrow. Latinos of tomorrow are high school students, you know what I mean, that's involved in the community through the collaborative, the Hispanic Chamber. And the young Latino professionals are those that are college and maybe now starting their first job. And some of the funding, the money that we raise with that will go back to those organizations so they could become more prolific in the community and they could do more.
Definitely it's a win-win.
Now,
I see like 3 different people winning here.
yes. Now we have the third.
Yeah.
And the most important, the crown, is that from the money that we raise from you, register, bring a tree, get recognized with a big ribbon and an award for your staff and your people. Go ahead and contribute something to the young Latinos of tomorrow and the young Latino professionals. But most of all, we're going to take some of those funding and we're going to take some of those trees and select 6 to 8 worthy families in Kansas City, Kansas and Missouri and give them to worthy families that normally would not have a tree.
But it's already decorated too.
And it's already decorated. So we have a group, we have a committee that is going to identify, 6 to 8 families in both of the cities here, Missouri and Kansas, that are worthy enough to deserve a tree that would not likely have a tree. Now, what kind of impression is that? For the children know that this community got together and gave them that Christmas tree. There's a lot of talk about diversity and inclusion. Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's talk with the families.
Yeah.
Diversity and inclusion is knowing each other and being able to help and become a friend.
Yes.
You don't say...
But the cost and everything is so right on.
Yes.
The money that you've raised from this participation of the companies goes to the young Latino professionals
Yes.
and the Latinos of tomorrow.
Yes.
That's the program, the KC Biz Fest as well, right?
That is correct. What a fabulous program.
Yeah. I had met so many professionals today that went through that program and they said how much that improved their lifestyle and their thinking just to get into college, because it's right before they go to college.
Yes.
And how much they take to go to college in their mind, how much they see happening. But I got to tell you a little secret. I've been telling this to Carlos Gomez. That is what I got discovered. Yes. So I'm a perfect example of the Latinos at tomorrow, at the KC Biz Fest. I got discovered there because I was working for a private company as a marketing person, and Carlos invited me to speak at that event to share my story.
Yes.
And since that day, I got so much feedback from everybody in the room saying that I should be telling that story more and more. So I decided to go at the National Speaking Association and become a professional speaker. Because of that, it was a start there. The pilot was lit up at that place.
It's amazing.
It did it for me, and I'm sure that this program does the same thing for a lot of those young Latinos.
It certainly will, Carlos. I think of it, not to take off from a movie called Pay It Forward. It's an old movie a while back with Kevin Spacey and Helen Hunt. And it talked about doing something for somebody that they couldn't do for themselves.
Correct.
If we would all go out there and try to do something to somebody that can't do for themselves with no ties, just pay it forward. Do something. Give something. Show an example. That's what we need to do.
Now, let me ask you this. Are only Hispanic Chamber members can be part of this program, or any company that can come and say, you know what, I'm not a member of the Chamber, but I want to do the tree part?
Anybody can, cause when would we not invite, what Hispanic would not invite somebody else into their house? If you live in a neighborhood with Hispanic people, they're going to have you over to eat. The first thing they're going to do is they're going to feed you.
Yeah.
They're going to welcome you in your home. The Hispanic Chamber is open to everybody. Everyone could contribute a tree because everybody needs a tree.
Yes.
So
if there is a company up there, si hay una compañía allá que escucha esto y no es miembro de la Cámara de Comercio Hispano, pero quiere ser parte de este proyecto, llámenos a la Cámara de Comercio, el señor Al Balloqui, y hablen con él para que empiecen el programa, o pueden ir a la oficina de él. They can come to your staffing agency offices too and talk to you about this, right?
I'm always open to talk to anybody. Absolutely.
What location would you prefer to see somebody?
On the 7th Street. We're on 7th Street in Armadale. We're there. but I'm very often at the chamber helping out, you know what I mean, or just come into the chamber to talk about the Festival of the Trees. We have a registration. Decorate the tree.
Is
you know,
this a
single
registration?
individual, yes, a single individual could go ahead and get together with their children. Let's say, let's decorate a tree. And we'll bring it on and get some recognition for the family. Why not? Let's contribute. You know, it's really, it could even be done online. You know, and it tells about what we're looking to do and how we're looking to do it and how we could get involved. But more importantly, come and get involved. Come and join the chamber.
Yeah.
Okay? Come and meet other people of like minds.
Yeah.
You know, that's how we start to get together. You know, we went through COVID. And it really separated us out.
Yeah.
It isolated us. The people are social people. And I don't know more social than Hispanic or Italian that want to get together and eat and drink and be merry. I mean, you know, it's who we are and who we want to do. I want you to come December 10th.
Okay.
I'd like you to register, and even if you don't bring a tree, you can come to the Christmas party. It's an open invitation. I think it's $20, but that's all you want to eat and drink. Wait, you go for $20 for all you want to eat and drink,
And bring business cards.
and bring business cards and meet other people.
Yeah.
And if not, the idea is to meet other people so we can mentor them, especially young people. They want to get in business. They need someone like you, Carlos. You know, and I'm so grateful for what you do. You talk about me, what you do in helping young people. They need to be encouraged. We need to show them that there's a way to be successful in America.
Well, you know, I have so many people. Paying forward word means so much to me because I have so many people that has held my hand all this time.
Yes.
So it's time for me to look back and hold somebody else's hand and do the same and keep just keep going, not stop. And we're coming to an end. I want you to, if you have some more words left,
Yes.
to give us some words of encouragement. Picture your crowd. Who is your crowd? Go ahead and look at the camera and speak to them. Take a couple minutes for that.
You know, Carlos, you asked me what I would have to say to my audience. And again, I revealed how old I am and when I was grew up. And I grew up in the 60s. And there was a great president at that time that said, ask not what your government could do for you, but ask what you could do for your government. And what Kennedy was really trying to say, I would like to expand on, is that what can we do for each other? Because for you to do well and your neighbor to be hungry, it don't work. What can you do for others? You know, if you're successful and God has blessed you, I would encourage you now to go ahead and give back what you have. Doesn't matter what it is or how much it is, but just the intention is enough. And our community will come together, solidify together, and more things will stop because then people will know you care. We need more people to care, Carlos.
We do.
And that's my advice. Ask not what someone could do for you, but ask what you could do for them.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Well said. Well, I appreciate your time, Mr. Al. I definitely enjoyed this little sit down we had
My
here.
pleasure, Carlos.
And
we should have done this a long time ago.
We should.
But we've got it done now.
At the right
Better
time.
late than never.
At the right time.
At the right time.
It's always
Yes.
that way.
Yes, Carlos.
Yeah. Appreciate your time. I wish you the absolute best. I know you may be going to Florida soon.
Yes.
And you have a lot of different projects.
Yes, yes.
Can you tell us real quick, in 1 minute, what other projects do you have so people see who you are?
Well, I've been in real estate development all my life, self-taught, self-learned. In fact, the first time, it was a lieutenant colonel in the Army that hired me because no one would hire me back in 1974. And then he mentored me, and thank God, brought me the right person. So in Nevada, I have a hemp farm. I have a small, I have a small hemp farm, very boutique. It's not big, but we grow, we extract, and we bottle our own CBD. I'm working at that, experimenting in that, and different forms of cannabinoids that they could be beneficial to other people. It's something that I enjoy doing in my pastime. And then, you know, with my wife, my future is to eventually, like most New Yorkers, retire in Florida. We have a bed and breakfast on the river, the River Lily Inn, riverlilyinn.com. Look it up on the Halifax River, 1888 Victorian home where people could come and stay. And we have a beach house on the beach. that we rent to families. We bought it to retire in, and families kept enjoying themselves, and now we share a home. What is it to have a beautiful home and you don't share it? I open up my home. Probably, I would say 48 times a year, families come and share that home with us.
Fantastic. Well, there you have it. He's full of surprises.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You.
Muchas gracias a ustedes por darnos su tiempo y escuchar este programa, y espero que haya aprendido mucho del señor Al Balloqui, un líder nato en la comunidad que ha crecido, es para nosotros, y así es que si usted quiere ser parte de este programa, del programa de los árboles de Navidad de este diciembre, por favor llame a la Cámara de Comercio o vaya a visitar al señor Al. Él está en las 7, su agencia de Staffing Agency está en las 7, pueden visitarlo allí y hablar con él. Ya saben, soy Carlos Vides con Mentes Innovadoras aquí por Televida. Nos vemos pronto.